Imagine you're taken from your home, family, and evacuated into the mountains with 400 girls. Not only is your life changed forever, but when you go back home, it's been so heavily bombed, it's unrecognizable. Mrs. Gerda Seuss does not have to imagine this because she lived it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lauren Dewinetz, and I am honored to speak to you tonight about my senior mentor, Mrs. Gerda Seuss. When I first walked into Mrs. Seuss's home, she said, "You have entered Europe." Not only was I given one of the most pleasant and interesting welcomes, but she treated me like a lifelong friend. Mrs. Seuss was born in 1930 in Hanover, Germany. Before October 1st, 1939, she lived a lovely life. She only went to school until noon, she played games in the streets, and she had lots of fun. When she came back from evacuation, she couldn't go back to school because they were all destroyed from the war. A bit after the war, she wanted to move to Canada, so she saved up and got on a flight to Halifax. She thought she'd be able to travel around the US and Canada quite easily, not realizing the size. On a train to Vancouver, she kept on asking, "Is this still Canada?" She arrived in Vancouver in the spring of 1954 and moved into a rooming house. She went to an employment agency and they told her there was an accounting position that was a graveyard shift. She thought, "I don't want to work in a cemetery," and said no. Then they offered her a position doing filing. They needed a girl Friday. She wanted to work full-time, not just on Friday, and said no again. She ended up being placed in the accounts payable department at the Hudson's Bay, where she worked for many years. She and her husband had bought a building on Ash Street in New Westminster. Due to some problems with her building manager, she told her husband that they would be moving into that building. Mr. Seuss had been in a concentration camp, and he could sleep anywhere, and he told her it was her decision. As a landlord, she was heavily involved in the crime-free housing program. She became a well-respected and requested speaker all over North America to police agencies, so much so that she received the Police Medal and the Queen's Medal twice. She is still very active and proud of her nonprofit society, the Group of Five. They do fundraising for small instruments needed in the operating room at the Royal Columbian Hospital. She is grateful for the citizens of New Westminster who have always supported them. Mrs. Seuss had 2 points of wisdom for me. First, as a German poet wrote, "Don't challenge the gods." Second, don't waste your time. It has been my privilege to share the story of Mrs. Seuss's life. I think we can all agree in her 90 years of living, she has lived a life full of challenges, achievements, and has been a generous contributor to the citizens of New Westminster. Thank you.